For the past month, we've been closely following the downfall of Morphe and Forma brands. We ended last year with rumors about Morphe possibly filing for bankruptcy, and those rumors ended up being very true. Morphe has now closed all their US stores, and their parent brand Forma officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Since this bankruptcy is so public and all the court documents are free for anyone to look up, we've been able to find the answers to a lot of questions that we've had for years now, especially when it comes to Jaclyn Hill. During my last video, we talked about some information that Jen found regarding Jaclyn Cosmetics.
These orders were from 2019. Yes, these orders were for Jaclyn's original lipstick launch. The hairy lipsticks! The hairy lipsticks! We have the purchase orders, we have the receipts, we have all the stuff for the hairy lipsticks.
Ever since Jaclyn started her brand, she's been very adamant that this was her baby. This brand was 100% hers, it was a family business, it was her money, her investment, and buying into the brand meant you were supporting a family business.
Because it's my brand and it literally has my name on it, and that I am launching a brand that I am so proud to be the owner of, I cannot even begin to tell you. But mom, you create whatever you want. You deserve to have something of your own in this line that people know, like they are buying into a family business when they purchase from Jaclyn Cosmetics.
Even when all signs pointed to Morphe being fully behind this brand, Jaclyn still stuck to her story. She said that she was the owner, founder, and even the CEO of Jaclyn Cosmetics.
I was working with the best lab, with the best people. I had spent all this money. I was just like, this is amazing.
But so far, that's not looking to be true. Last week, we talked about all the documents that were posted by Oxygen showing all the order forms for Jaclyn's lipsticks. And Jaclyn's name was nowhere to be found. Morphe ordered every single lipstick, paid for them, and even provided the packaging. Now, a lot of people were still giving Jaclyn the benefit of the doubt and were saying, you know, maybe since Linda and Jaclyn had such a good relationship, is it possible that Linda had Morphe pay for her lipsticks as some kind of business loan? Maybe Jaclyn didn't actually have the resources to do this whole thing on her own, and Morphe stepped in and offered her cash in exchange for some shares of her business. That would technically mean that Jaclyn could still be the owner and CEO of her brand. She would just have Morphe as an investor. But the new documents posted regarding this bankruptcy have shown otherwise. There is now actual physical proof on these documents that Jaclyn does not and has never owned any part of her brand. She's not the CEO, she's not the CFO, and she has zero ownership over this brand. The first document lists the current parties involved with Jaclyn Cosmetics, and we have everything from the CFO, the president, multiple different members, the brand controller, and nowhere is Jaclyn listed. They also list any former members who were ever involved with Jaclyn's brand, like the former CEO, the manager, and all that kind of stuff. And once again, Jaclyn is nowhere to be found. These are legal documents dealing with a lot of money and being handled by big-time lawyers. If Jaclyn even had an inch of involvement in her brand the way that she's been claiming to, her name would be on this list. A lot of people were also thinking that maybe Forma only had a small share of her business, so at the very least, it's possible Jaclyn was still legally allowed to say that she was the founder and owner of Jaclyn Cosmetics, but once again, that's not true. Documents uploaded last week now show exactly what brands Forma owns and the percentage of ownership they have, and it's not looking good for Jaclyn. As you can see here, Forma owns 100% of the shares in Jaclyn Cosmetics.
Yes, I'm currently working on something that is 100% Jaclyn Hill. I am the one that is paying for it. I am my only investor, and it is my product that I'm coming out for you guys. I've been working on it for almost 2 full years. It's been 23 months that I've been working on it. So yeah, coming soon, coming soon.
Forma also owns 100% of the shares in Playa Beauty, which is why in every single article that you read about Playa, it never refers to Shelby Wild as the owner or CEO. It simply refers to her as the founder because that's what she is. She founded the brand, but Forma bought it and they have control. It's the exact same with Jaclyn. Jaclyn is technically the founder of Jaclyn Cosmetics, but that's about it. It's her name, her idea, and her dream. But Morphe was the one to make that dream a reality with their money, their investment, and their labs. These documents also revealed just how much money Jaclyn Cosmetics was making, and they were doing really good. In 2020, Forma Brands officially kicked in and took over Morphe and Jaclyn Cosmetics, so that's when these documents start. In 2020, Jaclyn Cosmetics made a little over $300,000. Then in 2021, they had a really good year, making over $14 million. Last year, they had a bit of a dip in sales, but it was still a really good year, with the brand making a bit over $9 million. Seeing these kinds of numbers really makes me wonder why Jaclyn didn't just do this on her own. I'm sure Jaclyn had the connections and the knowledge of what labs were good and where she could go. She's even talked about how back in 2014, she was going to all these labs with $80,000 trying to get them to take her on.
And Jaclyn Cosmetics took way too long. It took forever. I had my first meeting with my first lab in 2014. I believe it was in April of 2014. Sat down, said, I've saved $80,000 and I want to start a makeup line and I want to order hundreds of thousands of units. And they laughed at me. They didn't return my calls. They didn't respond to my emails. And that's when it all started.
She clearly had a vision for her brand, and we all saw how little Morphe paid for these lipsticks to actually be made. Yes, $80,000 probably wouldn't have been enough to make a huge makeup line, but by the time Jaclyn got around to it in 2019, you know she had way more than $80,000 to throw at a lab and have them make her cosmetics for her. It just doesn't make sense why she would go once again through Morphe knowing everyone was sick of it. Her fans were sick of Morphe constantly being pushed on them, and they wanted Jaclyn to cut back on Morphe and focus on her own brand. It makes me wonder if Morphe tried to make Jaclyn feel like she couldn't do it on her own, or maybe they offered her a really good deal and said look, we'll handle all the really hard work. All you have to do is be the face and the name of the brand and give your creative input. That's essentially what Jaclyn is. She's the face and the name behind Jaclyn Cosmetics, and that's what Forma's actually paying her for. If Jaclyn was ever the CEO or anything like that, there would be receipts of payouts going to her for that title. But the only thing that she's being paid for is being the face of the brand. New documents show the payouts that Forma has sent to Jaclyn herself, and every payout is for Jaclyn being a collaborator and a licensor. Pretty much, Jaclyn is collabing with Morphe on Jaclyn Cosmetics. It's not her brand, it's just another Jaclyn Hill palette. Jen Luv's on YouTube also went through the documents, and she actually found something really interesting. She came across a document that shows Morphe sent millions of dollars to Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics.
So in this case, from umbrella company brand to umbrella company brand. So a money transfer between Jaclyn Cosmetics and Morphe. It looks like millions of dollars changed hands between these two companies, and the balance as of December 31st, 2021 was about $4.7 million, and the balance as of the end of 2022 was $7.6 million. So what I don't know about the situation is which way the money went, because I don't have the lawyer knowledge of whether the money was transferred from Jaclyn Cosmetics to Morphe or transferred from Morphe to Jaclyn Cosmetics. There is one other piece that can lend some clarity to this, and it says intercompany receivable from Morphe LLC. So that leads me to believe that Morphe gave money to Jaclyn Cosmetics. And make sure in your brain you're separating this Jaclyn Cosmetics from Jaclyn Hill. Jaclyn Hill is separated. This has nothing to do with her. It's from brand to brand specifically.
So I don't know what's going on there, but like Jen said, maybe we'll find out eventually, but for now, we really have no idea what that money was for. Now, as for Oxygen Labs and the whole hairy lipstick thing, there actually has been an update on all of that mess. Initially, Forma tried to say that they only owed Oxygen $10, and then Oxygen came back and was like, no, you owe us way more than that, and here's why. Well, Forma finally updated their documents to show they actually owe Oxygen over $168,000. Much different from the $10 that they were trying to claim a few weeks ago. Jen Luv's actually found a document that shows Oxygen and Jaclyn Cosmetics moved their court date because they want to handle things separately.
February 23rd is also the day that they have moved specific problems going on with Oxygen Development and Jaclyn Hill specifically to talk about what's going on with them. That's going to happen on the 23rd as well. Oxygen Labs and Jaclyn Cosmetics were crossed off for the cure amounts that they were talking about on that document. So the money that needed to be paid in order to settle open contracts, they were crossed off of it because I think what they're saying is that they don't want to handle those with all of the rest of them. They want to have a totally separate day to address the issues with Oxygen Development and Jaclyn Hill. Not Jaclyn Cosmetics, but Jaclyn Hill herself.
So it sounds like they're anticipating for this to be a pretty big issue to sort out, and I'm gonna guess we'll probably find out a lot more information about Jaclyn Cosmetics and just how much Morphe was involved. So yeah, I wonder if Jaclyn is actually ever gonna come out and address this because it does seem like a pretty big deal. Lying about your involvement in a company and trying to make it seem like it wasn't a Morphe brand because she knew her fans were over Morphe is so dishonest. I just don't see how Jaclyn can go on releasing new products without ever addressing this stuff. But with Jaclyn's track record, especially when it comes to cozy, that could be a possibility. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about everything down below and I'll see you next time.